Alright guys, today is going to be a different kind of video. Today we are going to do a video on my vacuum cleaner experience. We're going to go directly side by side with the Shark Apex Duo Clean 0M for zero maintenance against my old Dyson DC-17 Animal. I'm going to tell you why we ended up on this vacuum cleaner and if it is really zero maintenance. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I know you're going to say, hey Pete, you're a car guy, you do man stuff. Why are you going to make a video about vacuum cleaners? Well guys, I am, as I said in prior videos, I'm a guy that not only do I like to get a good deal, but I like to make sure I'm getting my money's worth on products. So when I find a product that does or does not perform as advertised, I like to let you guys know that stuff. So again, my videos may not be very typical. You may not understand why I'm making them, but by the time we get through them, maybe you'll understand a little bit more. So, as you can see on my left-hand side here, I have a Dyson DC-17 Animal. I've had this vacuum cleaner since 2005. It was a great vacuum cleaner. At the time, it was the best thing out. Nothing could touch it. It was an expensive vacuum cleaner. I had a hard time justifying the money, but it was worth it. We are now in 2019. It is on its second motor, and its second motor is making some noise, so it's pretty much on the way out. It does still work. It's loud. And I'm realizing now, after using the Apex Duo for a few months, that, you know, there were better things out there. I bit the Dyson, or I drank the Dyson Kool-Aid, and I didn't want to move away from Dyson. But we have moved on to something new. Like I said, it's just a bear to move around. The motor's making some noise, so the wife talked me into a new vacuum cleaner. Me being the guy that I am, I research everything to the hilt, and I came up with what I thought was the best decision for the best amount of money for what I felt could have been the best vacuum cleaner out there. So we're going to go ahead and go through some differences and similarities, more so the differences of the Dyson and the Shark Apex Duo. I'm going to show you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and is it really a zero maintenance vacuum cleaner. So we ended up getting this vacuum cleaner Bed Bath & Beyond. Guys, pardon my new kitten there in the background. We're going to get into vacuum cleaner performance with animals, as you guys will see. We've got a bunch of animal junk in the background. But we got this vacuum cleaner Bed Bath & Beyond. We were able to use a 20% off coupon. I think it was on sale as well. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say when we got this maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago or so, I want to say I paid just a touch over 200 bucks. I think it was like 198 and change with tax. It was a little bit over 200. Don't quote me on that. From what I understand now, the deal is not quite as phenomenal. I'm going to say these are on sale in the $249 or $349 range. I cannot remember exactly, but that kind of gives you a range for what these go for. And I will throw a link down below. In my experience, it seemed to be best to get from Bed Bath & Beyond because you can use that 20% off coupon. The Dyson, I want to say I bought from Bed Bath & Beyond again, you know, back in 2005. So I was able to use the 20% off coupon. I want to say this thing was like 550 bucks when I got it. You're going to see the size differences between the two. When we bought the Dyson, again, we had animals. You know, that was the DC-17 Animal, supposed to be the most extreme, best vacuum cleaner out, etc., 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 which I feel it was. Once it started making some noise, we decided to look at something different. My wife was bitching about taking this thing up the steps. It's very big and bulky. And if you guys have experience with Dysons, you got to pull the whole thing up the steps with you. Pull out the wand here, and this whole top section will pull off, and you kind of drag this thing behind you. This she wanted because she saw ads that you could actually pull off the canister and just take the canister and the wand with you, which that is a great functionality to have. So the one thing I'm going to say that I do not really like about newer vacuum cleaners, as you can see, there is a size difference. Yes, it is nice that it's smaller. However, if you look at the canisters on this guy, you get a very small canister. Alright, so I got that popped open. Yes, that does look like a lot of space, but realistically, I'm going to tell you, it's not a lot of space. If you got to do your whole house and you got animals, that's not a lot. Now, side by side with the Dyson, yes, the Dyson does look bigger. It's got a bigger suction assembly. honestly, the Dyson get clogged up pretty quick. Now that I look at it, the Dyson honestly isn't really that much bigger. So as you see the kitten back there checking things out, the head size is considerably different head size. This thing is a lot smaller, more compact. This thing is just big and a bear to maneuver around. So what you're going to see on the, let's get the kitten out of here. So we're going to see here on the back, the Dyson has wider wheels. The Shark has wheels that are more inset. So that's kind of like their ball technology of the Dyson. I think that this is probably a little bit easier to get around than the ball. Still has some maneuverability, but it's not awkward to kind of stand up. It does stand up on its own without too much of an issue. Okay, so here's where Sharks kind of claim the fame is, and this is what my wife really loves about this. You hit this top button here, and that whole guy comes off. And assuming that you already released the wand, you like that. Now that you release the wand, you have a whole handheld unit that you can now walk with up and down the stairs, or get to hard to reach places, and you leave the head assembly in the background. I'm going to try and do this one-handed. It has a track that it snaps into, slides back into place. You got your wand assembly, and slide that back down into its track, and snap everything back into place, and then boom, you got a full vacuum cleaner again. Snap that guy back in to keep the hose with the vacuum cleaner, and good to roll as a regular vacuum cleaner again. This unit does have headlights on it. That is a nice option as well. My rooms are usually a little bit more dim lit, so that is a nice welcome addition. Get a side by side of these guys just to give you an idea of the frame difference. Side by side. Again, the Shark is so much easier to maneuver around. I wasn't really fond of the ball technology, but those wheels in the back do make it significantly easier to get around. It is a lot lighter, less bulky, you can pivot better. It's a lot more enjoyable experience to use. Another feature I really do like about this is the multi-floor options. If you guys can see the light up, or if you guys can see the panel there. If not, these do light up when you turn it on. I'll show you that later. It does have a hard floor option, short pile carpet, and tall pile carpet option. That does work great in my opinion. Again, the Dyson did have that where you can turn off the roller or turn on the roller. That was about as hard floor or carpet that had. I really wasn't fond of that. I'm going to say the rollers do work great. However, is this a zero maintenance vacuum cleaner? I'm going to tell you, no, it's not a zero maintenance vacuum cleaner. And more so, definitely not if you have animals like this little beast right here. I'm going to show you why this is not a zero maintenance vacuum like they said. Some of this stuff I can get past, but I do got to remind my wife and daughter they do got to keep an eye on this. So what I have found with having a long-haired cat, you're going to see this front roller, and you're going to see this pivot point now that this is leaned back a little bit. But this front roller, and you're going to see here, there is hair that is stuck in these bars. You still do have to clean these out, and this was one of the major gripes that I had about my Dyson, is I always felt like I had to clean these out, and it was always causing a problem where that bar would get jammed up, and that's probably part of the reason why the motor was a problem. So what I would find is there is a hard piece that goes across here as kind of like a comb, and with one of our cats, we have a very long hair cat, and that's probably all her hair that's in it. Her hair would get bunched up underneath here, and it would actually jam up this front roller, and then I'd have to take it apart and clean it out. Now the other thing you're going to notice with the back roller, they said that that was a tangle free, that will never get tangled, you will never get junk in there that you have to clean off, which obviously you can see that that's wrong. So if you do have animals, especially animals with long hair, yes, you are still going to have to maintain this. If you have one of those white glove type houses, really clean environment, to where it looks like nobody lives in it, yeah, maybe it's a zero maintenance item. But I mean, the maintenance is pretty easy on this, but this is something you need to be aware of, and that's probably why they put those provisions in here. So you snap down the front, and you're gonna see you have two buttons. Kitten, get out of here. So you can see you have 2 buttons here. That's going to pop up with that front panel. There's a reason why they did that, guys, because they know it wasn't really a zero maintenance. So you're going to see how much junk we have in here. Now, granted, this does come up easier than what it was with the Dyson, but you can see this is far from zero maintenance and tangle free. Hair does get caught in there. Now, not all of it is going to be cat hair. Some of it is probably going to be my wife's hair, my daughter's hair, you know, just general hair from the floor. So now, granted, that was definitely not as bad as what the Dyson was, but I probably did just clean this not too long ago. So you can see as this back roller turns, guys, I'm going to apologize for the kitten here. She's very curious still. As the back roller turns, front roller is going to turn. So when that front roller gets jammed up and the hair gets jammed up in here and up in that comb piece that I showed you, it is going to jam up. It's not going to run right, and then you're going to risk blowing the motor. So you do have to keep an eye on this. You can snap up on there and that front roller will come out. And I usually just kind of do one of those deals, kind of clean out any junk on the roller. This is on a nice ball bearing here. This does spin very nicely. And then that should snap back into place into that cavity, and then you see everything moves freely again. So this is not extreme, but I am going to show you a picture of an extreme version, because I did take a picture of this to be able to show Shark down the line. So this was not extreme. I'll go ahead and add that picture in here so you see what it looks like with a long-haired cat after prolonged use. All right, when you want to snap that front lid on, just kind of slide it in the channels there, push it down, everything snaps back into place. So now we're going to get in the meat and the potatoes of this. We're going to go ahead and turn on the Dyson without the roller bars on, just so you guys can hear what it sounds like. And then we're going to turn on the Shark with the roller bars on, without the roller bars on, see what it sounds like. I'm going to run in the dB meter, and then we'll activate the rollers and see how much of a difference there is. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the Dyson. And that thing is significantly loud. Down on the floor, you got about 75 decibels down on the floor without me talking. Turn that off. And again, down on the floor between those two, we'll turn on the Shark. And down on the floor, without me talking, it's about 75 decibels as well. The Dyson does sound significantly louder, though, close by. Alright, so that's 85, 86 decibels right next to it. Let's turn on the Shark. And that's 79 decibels without me talking. So that is a considerable difference. Being right at 5 decibels is a lot. Let's go ahead and see if we can activate the motors and hold the camera and hold the phone at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and turn the motor on the Dyson. And far away here, 79 decibels. All right, and actually we can't test the Dyson because the motor is completely locked up, so that is not going to help. All right, let's go ahead and start up the Shark. And about 76, 77 decibels. At the motor directly, 88 decibels, which is not bad. I wish I had more of a side-by-side test, but it seems like the motor is completely dead in the Dyson now, and I did not realize that. Last time it was working, it was just loud. Alright, so now we're going to get into the performance of the unit. I'm going to show you what it's like to maneuver around, and see what you guys think. We'll go ahead and turn it on. We have it on short pile carpet. Go ahead and kick it forward. See, the bar's enabled and the lights are on. It swivels very nicely. And I actually have to do my morning cleaning routine anyway, so you will get to see some of the performance here. Normally I would hold the cord. We're going to trip over the cord a little bit because I'm not doing that. But you guys can see that thing has a very nice turning radius and it's very flat. It can get underneath my sofa, or at least underneath the front of the sofa. Alright, so hardwood floors. Go ahead and turn it on. Flip the bars forward, you're going to see the bars on. You go down to hardwood, and it's significantly quieted down. And I have a little bit of junk on the floor for you guys for demonstration. Picks everything up with ease. And voila. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a dump. Click that forward. You can see that there is some junk in here. And again, doing this one-handed isn't ideal. We'll go ahead and click the bottom there. See how much dust and particulates are in there. And snap that forward. You see, fits in my trash can. Very good, no matter which direction. And we'll go onto the steps. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and try the Sharks Claim the Fame, and we're going to do the steps. So we're going to go ahead and release the wand, and we will get our attachment on here that we use for the steps. This is to use in hardwood floor setting, and we will go ahead and disconnect the body assembly, and we will do up the steps and show you how easy it is to do this in POV view mode. So, having a hardwood floor mode. And we still do have a light on the front of the unit, as you can see. Again, I would take a little bit more care with this normally, but we're doing this for video. You can see it is easy to take this thing up the steps with you. And blah, 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 blah. To go all the way up the steps. And you can see the light is working. And you can see it sucks out those pieces of cat hair very easy. We're going to show you what it's like living with a cat with long hair. Alright. All the way up the steps without a problem. And we have it plugged all the way back in there. So we have a very long cord without much of an issue. So I got everything all unplugged. We're going to go ahead and go up the steps. Again, without any issues. Weight-wise, this thing goes up the steps no problem. My wife has no problems going up the steps. And things are a little mess right now because I'm cleaning, but this is a good way to show you guys how it does on long cat hair. So we're at the top of the steps, no problems. All right, so right here, you're going to see long cat hair, clumps, 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 clumps. And it is from that beast right there. This beautiful monster leaves this beautiful presence and clumps of hair everywhere. So this will be, again, there's not a ton of it. We don't leave the house super dirty, but you can at least get an idea. So go ahead and kick this guy on, put it on medium pile carpet. You see that cat hair right there? Gone, gone. And it picks it up without any problems. So those lights are nice for the dimly lit rooms. And as you can see, it got rid of all that cat hair in that section without any bit of an issue whatsoever. Another beast here to get scared of the vacuum. You see the turning radius again. That is a huge benefit to me and to my wife, because that is much easier to get into those nice little nooks and crannies. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and weigh these, see what they weigh. Go ahead and turn the scale on. Let it set to 0, and we'll put the Shark on. 16.4 pounds for the Shark. All right, now for the Dyson. Let's go ahead and turn that guy on. And go ahead and let it get set. 18.6 pounds. So now one thing I'm going to show you, we did just do the bedroom, that small bit of cat hair, and you're going to see where that cat hair ended up. It did jam up on the rollers a little bit. You're going to see it, there is going to be a section here where that long cat hair and the strings from the carpet have pulled up. So again, this is not a maintenance free if you have animals. And another thing to show you there, if you have animals, that is what the container is going to look like just from doing that little bit of the steps and that little bit of cat hair at the top of the steps. So it is catching the stuff and catching it very good. So guys, I want to thank you again for coming to this video. Again, I know it is weird seeing a guy who works on cars doing a review on vacuum cleaners, but I do want to show you guys some of the regular person's opinions of back-to-back, you know, side-by-side of another popular vacuum cleaner. Again, I wish I had a newer Dyson to show you side-by-side with, but again, we got this one for a reason. I was not happy with the newer Dyson lineup. I do not like that ball. They had a Dyson rep at Bed Bath & Beyond that day, and he was showing me, you know, how great and fabulous the new Dyson whatever model was, their high-end model that was over double the price. I pulled this guy off the shelf and did the same stuff, and honestly, I thought it did a little bit better. That's how we ended up with a Shark instead of another Dyson. So there was actually a good benefit to have the Dyson rep there. I really don't think those Dyson reps really know anything. The guy was like a college kid. I don't even think he's ever had to vacuum clean his floors, let alone live in a house. But again, that's why we ended up going with the Shark. I will say overall, I'm very pleased with the Shark. I do just as much vacuum cleaning. My wife will debate this, but I do just as much vacuum cleaning as my wife and my daughter do. So I am familiar with how it works, and I am that kind of person that I want to know what my investment went towards, if it truly does work as it's advertised. I will say that it is a joy to vacuum clean with, compared to the Dyson, for sure. It is a lot more nimble, a lot more agile. I think it does pick up a little bit better. I do like some of the functionality of it. It is quite a bit lighter, as you guys saw. As being a big guy, you know, it's maybe not that huge of a deal, but for my wife and my daughter, you know, that is significant. You see the thing turns fantastically. It's easier to clean. All the buttons and gadgets and doodads are easy to get to. I do like the functionality. The only knock I'm going to give this thing is it is not a fully maintenance-free, and you're going to see somewhere on the front of that box, non-stop hair removal, self-cleaning brush roll, yada, 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 no hair wrap. Yeah, maybe it doesn't wrap the hair around and actually jam up the brush roller, but it does still get on there, and you still do need to maintenance it. Again, if you're in a white glove type house where it looks like nobody lives there and you're super clean freak, no animals, no kids, you know, yeah, maybe this thing's going to be a no maintenance deal, but you'll see how much dust and shit I have inside that thing. We have animals, they have hair, they have dander, you know, sloppy teenage kids in the house, you know, there's going to be junk on the floor. We don't have a dirty house by any means, but if you look at some of the canisters on these things, you'll think that we live like pigs. So they both do pick up a significant amount. I will say the Shark does pick up quite a bit better. It's just not maintenance free. They do make it a lot easier to get to that roller assembly. The Dyson, you got to peel apart the whole bottom of the deal. This, you just snap off that top, clean it off, bing, bang, boom, it's done, and you're good to go. So as long as you if you have kids or have a wife that has to use this, just make sure, and you have animals with long hair specifically, make sure to take a look at that roller ball every once in a while and clean that thing off. If you do that, I really think that you're going to have years of enjoyment with this. And that sounds funny, it being a vacuum cleaner, but you know, you use it a ton. You should use it at least weekly if you're a normal human being and want a fairly clean house. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I know it's a little off canter coming from me, and I have a different viewpoint on things, but you know, again, I like to give you guys the information that the marketing ads don't give you and some of the paid reviews from these companies don't give you. I want to give you a true, honest, regular old guy's opinion on how something works. And I'll give this thing a thumbs up, other than that no maintenance thing, as long as you keep an eye on it. So thanks for coming, and let me know if you guys have ideas for any other reviews you'd like to see from any other tools or items or electronics that we use around the house, and I'll try and oblige.